Hey guys, we're here at Crossover headquarters and we're going to talk about a love story, okay? Because we have two artists. I don't know, we were talking a second ago. We don't know if it's ever been done where two separate artists that are married got signed on the same label. We know that like with the Fleetwood Macs and the other married couples were in the same band, but you guys have two separate bands. Maybe this is a first. Maybe
it could be.
I think it is because I can't for the life of me think of one, but
right.
maybe you can.
Yes, you guys comment below if you can think of two separate artists that they're married, but they have two separate bands or projects or whatever. But
if we're starting that trend, I'm pretty cool with that.
Dude, isn't that cool?
Yeah.
So it's working. You guys been married 5 years, and okay, we got to go back to day one. Like, what year did you guys meet? It was on the road, I know that much. And how did you meet, and what was it like?
Am I doing this? You doing this? You're my guy.
Because it started with me.
All right.
Go.
So I was in a previous band before I became Zahna, and I was a front woman of that band. And I guess we played a festival with your band at the time.
Watching Yaya Festival.
What year was this? I gotta know the timeline.
This was in 2015. So I saw him for the first time in 2015. He did not see me. I saw him.
Were you like, oh my gosh, look at them guns?
I was really, to be honest with you, I thought that to myself, like, that's the hottest guy I think I've ever seen in my life.
No way.
Yeah. To
you
me.
heard this here first.
Dude, this is so weird because I thought the same thing earlier.
I'm just saying that that's the truth. Okay. And
Good,
so
be honest. Honesty is good.
But at the time, I wasn't very flashy, and I think you were having a bad day that day, so you did not notice me at all. And I didn't approach Ben. I don't do that. But he didn't see me. So a whole year passes, and then my band, I find out through my band that we're going on a tour with his band named Random Hero. And that actually made me really nervous because I was like, it's a hot drummer dude that I thought I crushed on so hard a year ago. And I think the reason I didn't approach you is because your whole band had wedding rings on, but I couldn't see your hands, so I just assumed you might be married
so
too.
fast, bro.
Yeah, so I was like, just forget about it. Don't even worry about him. And then, I said, to myself, whatever's meant to be will be.
Yeah.
There's nothing I need to do for it. It'll just come to me. So then a year later, the tour that we were both on came to me, and I was like, no lie, I was like thinking about maybe he might like me. So it happened pretty quickly. We met on that tour, and I guess I could take over now.
Yeah, I remember seeing her for the first time, and I didn't know any of that, at the time. And so I'm like, oh wow, this girl is incredible. I was like, her band is awful. I was like, she is a talent though.
No offense if you're watching.
No offense if you're watching. We're actually good friends. They're good.
Everybody was young.
Everyone was young. We were learning. Anyway, I was like, yeah, she's such a talent. And as we were touring more on that tour, we would get to chat at the end of merch tables and stuff like that before loadout. And there was one night in Tennessee. Sorry.
We're Texans, sorry.
Yeah, we're Texans. Knoxville, Tennessee. And your producer came out, and then I introduced him, and I asked you for a guitar, remember?
Yeah, I thought you wanted to tell me you liked me, but you didn't. You asked for a guitar.
You thought I was going to come up and ask her out, but I was like, do you have a guitar I can use? Because I want to go serenade this tour bus family, basically. And she was like, you can use my guitar. And she came with me on that tour bus, and we ended up singing like...
Is this the same tour?
Yep, same exact
first tour. Okay.
Same exact. And we ended up singing covers all night, just like Matchbox 20.
On the bus?
Goo Goo Dolls. Yeah, dude,
Just for fun?
Just for fun. And we never harmonized together. I remember just like our eyes met, like when we like started harmonizing, and I was like, what? What was that? And then like I gave her a guitar back at the end of the night, and we had this super long hug. That was way longer than both of us were like, whoa, that was super long. And then we just like went away, and the rest was history, bro.
After that, were you like sneaking away? And
100%.
Yep.
110%. Well, yeah, because it was like, what was it? It was, her band didn't want, the drummer to be
They didn't want me to have a boyfriend at all. They didn't want me. They wanted me to be single. And
why?
Why? It's a good question.
For the band?
For the band to be single. So I was going through all that, and I was like, I don't understand why I can't date somebody.
That sounds like some Hollywood, LA label.
It was.
It's like, come on.
It was very toxic. And
Yeah.
I don't use that word lightly because I think people use that way too much, that word. But like, it was genuinely a toxic thing that like, I didn't know why I didn't have control over my life, you know?
Right.
And it was like, oh, you're never dedicated enough. But yeah, I was like, at that point, I think that's kind of what set me on the trajectory to be a solo artist, because I was like, I'm never doing that again. Found out all this stuff. But it was awesome. And then your band also kind of, you want to talk about your band also deteriorating and us doing our own thing?
They were kind of sad because I was like my band at the time was all family and they had kids and
Right.
You were
and
the
so
single guy.
I was the single one.
And
So
you
they
were
were like
the baby of the band, or what?
yeah, I was a complete baby. I was the only single guy in the band. They all had kids and beautiful wives. And I was like, you know, I think I met somebody, and they were like, you're gonna leave us now, you know? And they were like, don't, you know, make sure like you really want that because we don't want to lose our buddy. And then they always kind of saw it kind of happening that I was always gonna join forces with you anyway, you know? So
Right.
can't stop love, you know?
You can't stop destiny either.
That too,
Or
yeah.
divine connections, I like to call them. But so how long after that was 2015? I love timelines, as you can see today.
Well, I saw him 2015. We met 2016 in July of 2016.
So
And
that
then,
tour was 2016?
Yeah,
Yep.
so I waited
Okay.
a whole year to actually
She
meet
waited
him.
a whole year.
Yeah,
Oh,
I did
so-
not do anything in that time. I just let it happen.
But you weren't thinking like, I can't wait to see him again for a year, right?
No, because I didn't even know his name.
know.
I didn't even know his name. I just knew that
Right.
he was very attractive and he was on my radar. But, you know, I was a single girl too. So I was kind of
Yeah.
just like scoping who's out here,
Heck
you know.
Heck yeah. So,
yeah.
but 2017, when did you get married?
2018. So we
Oh,
met
okay. It took
and
a couple
we
years.
pretty instantly started dating. And then we were engaged. We dated for like a
Engaged.
year, engaged for a year. And then we got married in 2018. So
And then right when we get married, it goes to kidney transplant, into COVID. And we went through so many hurdles in our first 2 years of marriage. It
Yeah.
was-
And like your suicide attempt.
And that happened during 2020.
So you guys are facing death like literally together and separate.
yes.
You know, just it's
Which is
crazy.
100% about what Joyride's about. The chorus lyrics say, I've never felt so alive after dying so many times.
I've never felt so alive after dying so many times. Thanks for holding the knife that bled me dry. I guess it's safe to say everything happens for a reason, maybe. But I've never felt so alive after dying so many times.
And
Now, dude, I'm gonna listen to that song with
Yeah.
chills now, because I'm like, it's such a strong lyric, but I had no idea the background.
yeah, and that's it. So she's going through the kidney transplant. We're going through COVID
and my
as a
band
whole.
breakup too. They
My
like
band
mute
breakup.
me and then his band breakup. And it was like,
What year was the breakups?
so
for
my
the
band breakup actually happened 6 months after we met because my manager would not allow me to be with a man. Like he'd be like, well, you're not dedicated. And he convinced my whole band of like, let me go. And that was like a lot of the fuel of the fire that I wrote Red for War with, because I was so mad about
yeah.
it. And that's also the year I got diagnosed. So I was like, I'm gonna live. I'm gonna come back for all of you, you know? So that was a lot of my rage, but Stronger Than Death was like, okay, now it's time to face the reality of your situation and the darkness about that. And all that happened during COVID. Like I remember after my transplant in June 12th of 2019, I was like pumped with so many immunosuppressants that like I got sick all the time. And like things that would have killed me had I not like gone fast enough to the hospital.
Wow.
And so like that was for 6 months. And then even in 2020, it was so scary to go to the hospital because here I am, an immunosuppressed individual who could get COVID and die. So it was like nothing but facing death for like 2
Right.
years, the possibility of it, death of your career, death of your spirituality, death of our marriage, because we were going through so much. Like I think we had like 4 really peaceful months after we got married. It was like, oh, honeymoon
Like the eye of
phase.
a
It was like
hurricane.
amazing.
Yeah.
I was like, I can't believe I'm married. This
And
is
then
so
the
great.
testing.
And then it was like years of just darkness and tribulation and like testing our love. And, you know, we have a couple songs on my album called Stronger Than Death that talk about it. Like, you know, Promise You're Coming Home, I mentioned to you, is just how much we were distanced because of all the BS going on in our lives. And we were mourning separately, not together. You know, we were seeing each other as the enemy, which is why we follow with the song I'm Sorry, because that was just about our garbage.
Right now, you'll probably realize I'm gone forever. I'm like,
Because he was on tour while
yeah.
I'm dying. And I'm like, where are you, dude?
oh my
You're on
gosh.
tour.
It was the worst
I
feeling.
got chills.
It was the worst feeling.
So
I mean,
wait, So you were talking about literally that you could pass away
Yeah.
forever and be gone.
I could
while he
die,
was-
yeah.
There was one night that's tattooed.
I didn't put that together.
Yeah.
Oh my God.
One night that was tattooed in my head, which was we were contractually obligated to play this tour, and I couldn't break away. I was trying to get 2 dates on it canceled, and I had to kiss my wife on the head and fly out, you know, and the next day she had complications while I'm on sound check, you know, and it was just
You
the
went
worst.
straight back to the
The
hospital.
worst feeling ever is when you're states away. You just kissed her on the head. You don't even know if you could see her again that night. I'm playing the show, not knowing if complications means what it means, you know? Like, I have no
Yeah.
idea.
It was a really vulnerable time
And,
for your
yeah.
band too, because you
And my
guys had
band,
just
too.
released the new record under the new label that was already pressuring you guys like crazy. So it was like,
So
I didn't want to be the reason his career like nosedived, because I was like, dude, I mean, this is really important, you know, like, but no one could control my kidney failure. And we all thought it was going to take a lot longer, and it just didn't. And yeah, the doctors were telling us, you guys need to have kids now, because if you don't, you may not. And
we
like,
heard some doom,
it's
you know,
just
from
like,
doctors.
how much can you handle? And then, you know, I'm really glad that our engagement and our wedding was so beautiful, because I think that like God allowed that to happen, because it was such a movie. It was like unreal. Like our honeymoon was in Rome. It was so beautiful.
Really?
Yeah,
it was
it sure
so
was.
romantic. It was like the best day of my life. And then just like 4 months later, it was like war, just fight every day to
When did you
survive.
come through that? Like when did you, was it after the transplant that you came through and you're just like, okay, breakthrough, finally we're gonna be okay? Like
It was never
when did the
ended.
war, is the war ended? Or-
It's like, it never ended. And it's what a lot of the next record's
This
about.
new record.
so it's still, are you still in a war right now?
Yeah, I would say. I think the whole world is in the state of war. I think we are constantly in the state of war with ourselves. And that is what the new record is about. It's about
Oh.
war.
Which is
That's-
kind of what the hill's about, is when you get to that top of the hill, you're going to realize what weapon you want to pick up to fight the war.
And
that
then
we
there's
all
always
fight,
a
you know? And
mountain
it's like,
There's
that
always
is
gonna be
next.
always,
Yeah.
you know, yeah.
And so,
But relationally, like with your
relationally, yeah.
marriage, have you guys broken through to another place where you got like a lot of peace? And that's cool. I'm not a therapist
yeah.
I think
because you
that
seem really happy.
we have definitely grown a long way. No lie, like it's a lot of years of trauma that we have had to work through, not just like between us, but like within ourselves, facing childhood trauma. And there are times where it's like, you know, when you're in a music environment and you are in one state one day and the next day, and then your van breaks down and you are scared to death that you're not in a safe place, like the emotions run high. Okay. There's a lot of stress, but I know that if whatever didn't kill us in the beginning, which was a lot harder, nothing can really kill us now, I don't think.
Yeah, no, I think we're stronger than ever. I know we've matured in our relationship too. I mean, we still are just like anybody. We're gonna have our spats, we're gonna have this, but it's a little different when you're on tours, because you have to like kind of got to delegate when to turn husband mode on, and you got to delegate when to be a team player still, you know, because I want to be
Right.
husband sometimes.
Or
but then
tour manager.
Or tour manager, you know
I
what I'm
saw
saying?
the conversation earlier. Yeah.
Like exactly. And so there's like, sometimes I got to go into husband mode, and sometimes I got to realize that, you know, there's time and a place for that on tour, you know, but
Yeah.
when we're home, you know, it's home, you know, but when it's on tour, it's like, I'm still in her band. She's still my singer, you know, and vice versa, you know, or not in my band.
You're his drummer?
You're my drummer.
Yeah. co-writer.
Zahna.
No, I want to see that.
It's
you know?
funny because like we both write each other's albums, you know, so I had a really heavy hand.
We
in the Nesdam
collaborate,
album.
yeah.
And then he wrote some sick parts on my new album. I'm really stoked
Yeah,
about.
I just heard some new songs and I am blown away by those tracks. Like you guys weren't lying. And so there's just an incredible team you guys got with the Three Musketeer thing going on right now.
Like
And-
non-biasedly, she's one of my favorite people to write a song with. She hears melodies in ways I don't. I hear them in ways she doesn't. Our lyrical, you know, what you were alluding to when you heard the new songs, you know, the lyrical content, is one of my favorite things that we're really fine-tuning here, is my lyrics meeting her lyrics, and then Frankensteining them together. And that could be discarding lyrics, or that could just be column A, column B. And I've really enjoyed on a songwriting level, writing with my wife with this new record.
yeah.
I mean, it's full collaboration here.
Okay, who has the hardest time throwing away a lyric? Yeah! I love your honesty. Look at her honesty, guys. Give
I'm
her-
always like, can we just get rid of
I'm
the
not
word
gonna lie.
that? Just
I
give me the.
overwrite. It's just like Kellen wants like 3 words, and I'm like, here's 17.
Here's 17
For
to pick
some
from.
reason, I gotta say it in 17 though.
Yeah.
But sometimes those good nuggets you guys get out of there.
Trying to say more with less is one of the coolest things these days.
Very hard to do.
You know,
Yeah.
but it's so hard to do.
Some of those lyrics, bro, on the what was this? I don't know if you have a title for the track about your father passing.
Yes,
Like I kept going, oh my God. The poetry in those lyrics is beautiful.
Poetic is definitely the staple of that song, but it hits on a thing that we know all too well, which is this loss in life that is inevitable, finite lifespans, right?
Yeah.
And it's just like this loss in life is something that everyone's going to go through, and it's been talked about time before time, but it keeps getting reinvigorated because the impact it leaves. You know, and it's like it just keeps getting reinvigorated as it goes, and now we're finding new ways to talk about it too, because it's impacting us in new ways. I've dealt with death my whole life in people, but now it's my father, so it's hitting home in a new way I've never felt.
Wow.
So another redo on it, and so you got to kind of comprise and meet people where they're at. And now I hear lyrics and songs I've listened to for 20 years. And I'm like, whoa, it means something different to me now. It means something so different to me now. So it's
Yeah,
fine.
it was really strange about his daddy passing away was it was literally to the day, the first year anniversary of Stronger Than Death being out. And so we just
To the
wrote
day?
to the day. Or
To
was
the-
it was like
Nope.
February 9th?
The
I
day.
don't remember.
February 9th was my birthday when he died.
Yeah, it was your birthday
Yeah.
where he flatlined for 8 minutes and then they kept him up for 4 more days and he was gone. But it was like, and you know, this is a really successful album for me and I was so excited to, you know, the 1 year anniversary, and it was like, we're in the hospital looking at death all over again in a new way, in a new fresh hell. And I'm like here, like trying to remain victorious and like in grief, and it's like here it is again, like all the stuff I just been through is like I want to close the chapter on death. I don't want to talk about it anymore, but it like finds us, you know. And it's
But you know, on a happy note, with my dad's passing, our relationship, I mean, like she is fully my rock. I got to lean on her in that time and she supported me, but also I feel really fortunate with my dad's passing because the last thing I ever got to talk to him about, and my dad, y'all have to know, was my manager my whole life. I mean, since the time I started playing music, he has been at every show. He booked them. He brought me here to Nashville for the first time.
Wow.
So he was such a mentor in music to me. And the last conversation I ever got to have with him was, Dad, we're going to be partnering with XOVR. And how proud he was. He's like, son, we got to get you a new tour vehicle.
Really?
Because we had a Chevy 15 passenger at the time. He was like, dude, I hate that. Get rid of it, you know? And he was right. And we did. And we got a new one, you know? The last thing I honored him with.
That's
Like,
incredible,
yeah,
man.
you know? But it was, I feel fortunate, you know? So like a lot of people are like, you know, they think I'm in a constant state of sadness about my dad's life. And I'm like, nah, man. Like he taught me to be this man. He taught me to do all this stuff. I'm doing what he wanted me to do, which is this music. And it's become my love. I've tried to walk away from music so many times and it never can. Life always brings me right back to it,
Wow.
you know?
Yeah.
And so it's just clearly my mission in life and I'm just fully surrendered to it now, you know?
Wow. Well, we're honored to be just included in this story. I know that the timing was crazy when that happened because we started talking. You were talking to my business partner, Dave, and then he started going with a health issue, like a scary health issue with his young son.
Yeah, that was wild.
And so it's just like, are you joking
at the
me
same
right
time,
now?
yeah, right around
and
the same time.
So, well, I can't wait to see. I mean, I'm already seeing results of like what comes from that pain, you know,
Yeah.
with the music and everything. And so I can't wait to see where you guys go as a couple, as artists, as a drummer for her band, as your own independent Nesdam artist, Zahna. I can't wait for more ears to hear you guys because you're so incredible. I'm like I said before, I'm a fan. I'm just a fan.
Dude, I love that.
I'm not going to work with nobody that I'm not a fan of. And so it's fun for me. And let's see what happens.
We'll
You know,
see.
Let's see what happens.
Coming from you to people that have just worked, we feel like we've worked our tails off to get what we have. And just to hear you say that, man, that means the world, bro.
Good.
Yeah, thank you.
I mean it from my heart. But so when are the release dates for these two records, Nesdam and Zahna?
You're going to be January
Roughly.
2025.
January, yeah, we're looking at 2025 for the Nesdam, January 2025.
January 2025.
Yep. 2025.
Zahna was
So
it
the
April?
new-
May?
We're estimating about April 2025.
Yeah, so don't quote us on this. It's going to be, Nesdam should be January 25th?
Or 2025. I don't think we've picked a date.
Oh, yeah.
essentially.
Okay, January 2025. You should be the owner of the label. I'll be the drummer. I'll be the singer.
Let's go, bro.
But yeah, sometime in January, Nesdam, Zahna, April, May. But yeah, just you guys follow these guys, follow their story, follow their music. It's really, really, really special. So we'll see you out there and we'll keep you posted. So follow Crossover too, follow my channel. I'll be letting you guys know about all this stuff. So we love you. We appreciate all your support, right?
Thank you so much.
Thank you guys.
I'll